and welcome to For Better or Worse, a movie and TV podcast where a married couple reviews movies and TV. Follow us on Instagram, TikTok, and subscribe to us on YouTube, please. We are pushing for 100 YouTube subscribers.
Million YouTube subscribers.
Before 2023.
Got a week. We got to get from 73 to 100 million.
So
let's do it.
Truly, just like add us. It wasn't really going to bother you. The answer is no.
We don't post that much anyway. Because we're not going to spam you. Don't worry.
No.
Hit the bell.
Bell things. We want to just thank you all 73 of you. Thank you for your
Thank you so much.
support. We appreciate you. I'm Toby.
I'm Gino.
And today we're going to be talking about A Christmas Story Christmas.
Boo.
Couldn't even wait for me to finish.
Nope. So non-spoilers, you don't have to watch it. It's not even interesting enough to really like talk about. We're still going to talk about it.
Yeah.
But like I feel bad because I like Peter Billingsley and like he was heavily involved in this.
What do you like about him?
His face. I like Peter Billingsley's face.
I guess so.
He played the kid. So he's one of the writers for this. So I feel bad.
Yeah, it was
I feel like the teacher. I'm gonna give him a C plus.
I know. I fell asleep.
C plus.
And I didn't miss anything.
Yeah. Like Ralphie peaked at when he wrote that letter to his teacher, where he's like, the Red Ryder action, whatever, is really good. Like that was his best writing.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, it's all downhill from there. So no, for worse.
I'll also say for worse. It's like a nice family. Like truly, if you have like a little family, we don't yet. So we're still watching things for us. And it's like a nice thing to watch together. It's just nice. Like nobody pays attention to the nice kid in class. Like it's just nice.
Yeah, I get. You're like way too nice to this movie, Toby.
It wasn't bad. There were like cute parts, but like very blah. Like not laugh out loud funny. It's a safe movie to watch with your children.
Yeah, there's no like, I would say it's probably even less inappropriate than
the first one.
The first one. And the first one is also safe to watch with your kids anyway.
Right.
But like, okay, so review, non-spoilers. Just go ahead.
Done.
No. What did you think? You didn't give your rating. Our only one of two ratings.
I said worse. And then I accidentally said for both.
For sickness. She could be another one. It's really bad.
Ooh.
Or in health. Okay, so from now on, spoilers, but who cares? I don't even remember what happens in the movie. Okay, so like, what stinks about this movie is that it's literally impossible to be as good as the original Christmas Story. It is, by far and away, probably the best Christmas movie of all time. Don't say Elf. Don't say Elf.
I'll say A Christmas Story.
I'm not talking to you.
Oh.
Don't say Elf is great.
No, people will say National Lampoon.
Don't say National Lampoon. Christmas Vacation.
Agree.
Christmas Vacation is probably in the top three. I would say top three is Elf. In no order, no particular order. Christmas Story, Elf, and Christmas Vacation.
I'm sorry.
Like, you're talking about, and also like Christmas Story is like, maybe one of the best movies of all time.
Christmas Story is just like, it's just like nice. Like the narrator's perfect. The family is perfect. The time is perfect, right? Like it is a blast from the past. Like you can watch this with your kids. And they'll be like, why is this kid listening to, like, staring at a radio? What's a radio?
It's like the perfect, like there's an overarching plot, so like it's satisfying, but also it's like you can literally watch it from any point in the movie because there's all these little vignettes and little stories happen throughout the movie.
ABC Family used to play it for 24 hours because you just like pop it on.
The perfect. Like, I get mad at how good that movie is. Like, you're like, how did they do this? Who did this?
And the narrator, he did it.
So
I didn't know what it was based on.
Yeah, so the narrator for the original Christmas Story, you can tell how much we love the new one because we're talking about the old one
first.
So the original Christmas Story was written by Gene something.
Good job.
Gene Shepherd, who wrote a book called God We Trust, All Others Pay Cash, which is like a semi-fictional story of his own life. And then he wrote the script for a part of that, which became A Christmas Story. And he's also the narrator. So like the narrator is arguably the best part.
The best part.
Of A Christmas Story. And that is the original author narrating the movie.
Which is very impressive because like a lot of people can't handle it. Like I don't think.
Yeah, he's just like some old guy. I mean, like good for Gene Shepherd. Like, dude, you killed it. He looks like that. He's just like a guy. I mean, he looks exactly what you think he would look like. That's him in 1969.
No,
so he's probably a little
him.
older. He died in 1999. So obviously Gene Shepard's not involved in this one because he's been dead for 20-some years. So Ralphie, who is now an adult, what's his name?
Peter Billingsley.
Peter Billingsley of Iron Man fame and of Spider-Man Far From Home fame. He's one of the bad guys. He gets yelled at in Iron Man by what's his face?
I don't know. This is for you guys. Gino already said this to me.
What's his name? He's a good actor.
Jeff Bridges.
He gets yelled at by Jeff Bridges, and he's in that. He wears I thought he was bald because he's bald in Iron Man, but no, that's a bald cap. He has hair in real
looked him
life.
up. He
I had to look
great.
it up because I thought he was wearing a wig in this movie. He's not. Or maybe he is, but he's not bald. Anyway, Peter Billingsley, who's now an adult, obviously is playing Ralphie as an adult. Sorry, Millie. I'm hitting the cat.
I think you're going to need to zoom in on that. No, leave her there.
Pick her up?
No, she's
Okay.
gonna
I'm sorry, everybody. I tried to pick up the cat. Now all the animal lovers are going to go
You
after
guys just
us.
all got to peek into what our lives are
pick
like.
up the cat. Don't you want to pick her up?
She loves me more, and Gino gets very upset
I want
about
to pick her
it.
up.
She's
Sorry,
my
Millie.
cat.
Okay. I hate you. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, just pet her.
Anyway, so Peter Billingsley, who's now an adult, is playing adult Ralphie, but his narrator voice, he's like trying to do like his best impression of Gene Shepard because Gene Shepard was playing Ralphie
Yeah.
as an adult.
But
So
you-
it just like doesn't work
But you
well.
know what didn't work? And I think what worked better in the movie is that he was narrating as a kid, as an adult. So like so hear me out. Right?
He's narrating his
No.
kid life as an adult.
Right.
Yeah.
But it was like emotions of a child.
Yeah.
So it like had more, like it felt power.
It's also funny.
It's funnier, right? Because it's a kid.
Yeah.
You're narrating as a kid, but you're an adult. So
He's
you're
not
like,
narrating as a kid.
yes, he is. He's narrating his childhood feelings.
Right. So he is narrating as an adult what his things were as a
Based on-
kid.
Right.
Okay.
But now you have Peter Billingsley
Who's
just narrating as an adult.
Like narrating. Right. He's always an adult. I want to be very clear.
Right, but like narrating his
Ralphie was
feelings
always
as an
narrating-
adult. Right. People will understand what I'm saying.
Okay.
Because it's not as interesting. He's just narrating as opposed to
It's
like
not interesting because it's an adult narrating another thing that happened to him while he was an adult. So it's boring.
Right.
Right. Okay.
Why do you always look at me like I'm making
Because
no
like
sense?
because you're not making any sense. He's
I'm
not
making-
narrating as a kid. He's narrating as an adult, but he's explaining the things that happened to him as a kid.
Right, but like you're
So when you say
taking
narrating as a kid, it sounds like he's pretending to be a kid.
he's not, but he's like getting into the shoes of how he felt as a child.
Now I got to cut this out.
No, don't cut it out because I want people I want people to
Yeah.
rage.
Please comment that I'm correct. Okay.
I'm making more sense.
No. Okay, so Peter Billingsley is playing the adult version of Ralphie narrator
Right.
now,
So boring.
and the adult version of Ralphie who is in the story.
Yes.
And the whole story is like he's got 2 kids and he just quit his job and he's trying to become a writer because I guess he got that C+ and that was inspiration for him
That was it.
to be a writer. Now, Toby picked up on that right away where I'm like, oh, it's like funny he's like a writer because like the story
'Cause
is
he
written
wrote
by
the
a writer.
story.
Like Gene Shepard was a writer. But you're like, no, it's funny that he's a writer because he wrote that stupid thing for his teacher.
Right, and he
got
was,
a
like,
bad
thought he was
grade.
a great writer.
So like Toby's already giving this movie, I think, more credit than the people who made the movie did. But that is funny. Also, he's bad at it apparently because no publisher will talk to him.
Well, but what's also good, about, like it says that the book is too long, and like yeah, the dude's long-winded.
Yeah, he's like a George R. R. Martin kind of guy.
Right,
He's
where
like a
he, like-
sci-fi thing or something. Like I wasn't paying attention.
It was like sci-fi, like
Yeah.
Neptune
Whatever.
explodes.
So
or
I literally
something.
wrote down so this is like the first 10 minutes of the movie, right?
Mm-hmm.
And like they've only made a passing mention of like Christmas is coming. So I'm writing this. I'm like, is this a Christmas movie or like a movie about a writer? Because like for the
No.
first 10 minutes,
They
it's
kept-
like him going to the publishers, him talking to a publisher.
They kept saying it's the end of the year. He had one
I
full
guess,
year to
but like
write.
the first movie goes boom, Christmas. Like this is about Christmas. Kids love Christmas. The whole kid
How
year
does it
revolves around
start?
it. It starts with him saying Christmas, yada yada yada. The entire kid year revolves around Christmas,
Oh.
and he's reading the magazine with the gun, and he's trying to give his now we're gonna get banned from YouTube for saying gun. I think you get delisted.
BB
Whatever,
gun.
We're not
BB
listed anymore.
gun.
Whatever, BB gun. And he like is stuffing it. We literally watched it 2 days ago.
Yeah, but I came in later.
Oh,
you
so
started
he's
it.
it starts off boom. He's talking
Yeah.
about he wants his gift and he's like trying to do Inception on his parents. He like stuffs the advertisement in his mom and dad's magazines so they see it.
Oh.
Yeah.
See, like you always forget.
So
things
the
when you
whole
rewatch
movie
it.
revolves around Christmas from the jump. And
Yeah.
this is like, oh, they got to set up the fact that he's a writer because he's an adult and adults have to do adult things.
Well, yeah, but you also have to set it up because like it comes back around in the end where he like does become a writer.
He's also like not as funny as his dad. So like Ralphie as a dad is like a really nice dad, and
He's like a mix between his mom and his dad.
Yeah, boring.
Mostly his mom.
Well, yeah, he takes more after his mom. Where his dad, when I was a little kid, I thought the dad in A Christmas Story was like really mean and scary. But now watching it as an adult, he's really not. He like rolls his eyes at his kids.
Right, which I mean, like, wouldn't you like Randy literally has to eat like a piggy and comes out of a cupboard.
Yeah, like I could definitely see my grandpa,
things.
my grandpa would be Ralphie's age. So like yelling across the room about like someone eating like Ralphie was.
No,
not
you
Ralphie.
mean Randy, and
Randy
you mean like the
was.
dad.
Yeah, so I think Ralphie they would be about our grandparents' age if they're kids in the 30s.
Okay.
So, or maybe a little older. But anyway, so like I could definitely see my grandpa like yelling at someone for doing that.
Right.
But like so I always compared my grandpa to the dad from A Christmas Story. But like the dad from A Christmas Story is like, yeah, they're screaming in his ear, singing jingle bells in the car,
and he's just
not
like
saying
dealing with
he's just
it.
dealing with it. Like
his cursing is never at the kids.
He never curses at the kids. He curses near the kids.
Right.
He curses at the radiator.
It's just he like doesn't.
Which, by the way, Toby, what is my radiator going to be when I have kids? What is my version of the radiator? We just talked about it.
Wi-Fi.
Like I'm
We just
always in the
argued about
basement.
it.
I was just yelling at Toby's iPad for not connecting to the Wi-Fi. So that'll be me in the basement cursing at the Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
So like as an adult, you're like, all right, the dad is like whatever. He's like nicer than he looks. He's like he tolerates his kids.
And
he's supportive.
Funny.
But he's funny. And Ralphie as an adult is not as funny as his dad.
No.
So it's like
they like really went for the more like I don't know.
Also,
gentle.
the dad dies right away.
Oh my
which,
God.
like, obviously, because the actor's dead.
What are you gonna do?
Well, they
recast
the mom.
You cannot recast the dad.
it. Which I mean, I would argue, Toby. So the mom, the actress who plays the mom, is still alive. She's retired.
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
Yeah. So I would argue that they should not have recast the mom because the original actress had this like charisma about her. This like I don't know. It was almost like for some reason in my head I kept getting like Harrison Ford vibes from the mom. I cannot explain it. It's just she just had this like control over her family and like she had a sense of humor and like this charisma about her. I don't get it. Please, I don't understand either. But that's what I was getting in my head.
Harrison Ford?
Just like that like Han Solo-ish kind of like vibe. I don't know what I'm saying here, but like there was something about the mom in the original movie.
Okay.
The way she like carried herself with like confidence and like she wasn't just like a stay-at-home mom.
And she like kind of stood up for herself, which was great.
She stood herself against the dad.
Yep, she stood up for herself. She like helped Ralphie when he got in the fight and like didn't say anything.
She's not just a ditzy stay-at-home mom.
Right, no.
She's like good with the kids. So like, and then they recast her, and I feel like the new mom was just kind of like some weird old lady.
So I feel like if you also don't know the mom from other things that she did, it's probably like jarring. I've seen the mom in other things.
From the original one. Or from the, you gotta say new mom or original mom?
Sorry, new mom. I've seen the new mom in other movies.
The new mom, by the way, is Julie Haggerty.
Yes, Gino has to do this because, like we said, the Wi-Fi was just
not
like
working. I plan on
not
going
working my iPad.
and beating it with a wrench and cursing at it.
Right.
Who turned off the Wi-Fi?
And so I know that mom, and that mom she's like a little too nice because she's my most like important memory of her in a movie for new mom is Just Friends with Ryan Reynolds, where she's so nice to him.
Okay, you got it. I figured it out.
She's too nice.
This version of the mom is too nice.
Yeah.
Whereas the original one was like very nice, but like okay, here's why I'm
still
thinking.
Put soap in Ralphie's mouth.
And here's why I get the Harrison Ford vibes. Which is like, whatever. Like, okay, so you know in the part where the kid's in the jacket?
Yeah.
And he's like, I can't put my arms down. And she's like, whatever, just go. Like, just go. Yeah. It's like there was something about the original mom. And I think that's where I was getting like those like, you're nice, but you're not like the corny nice.
Yeah, no, this mom's corny nice.
So anyway, I mean, going back to say that like, I really feel like they should not have replaced the mom. I mean, the mom's still alive. She's retired. Just get that HBO money.
Or
HBO made this.
No offense. Buy both parents. You know what I'm saying?
Make them both dead?
Yeah.
Oh,
and just like have you like now you have to have Christmas and
yeah,
make
I guess
it
you
better?
could just have no right. I guess I would have rather had no grandma if you're going to replace the actress.
Yeah.
Because that actor was such an important part of it, and I kind of feel bad that like they thought she wasn't important enough.
I think one of the parts that I actually really enjoyed and I thought was very reminiscent of the older one, like that extreme
There's one
behavior.
scene. Yes, I know exactly what you're talking about.
When the carolers come.
That's the only funny scene in the movie.
Yes, it was very extreme. It felt like something that family would have done if carolers came to their door.
Especially if the dad was still alive.
Yes.
Yep.
He would have been like,
There's
everybody
carolers here, get down.
Right? So that was like the best part. And like the only, I feel like a big reason to keep the mom, because like just for that scene.
She would have been great. The original actress would have been great in that scene.
So
I don't know, maybe she's
wonderful.
retired for other reasons. Maybe there's health reasons or something like that.
Right. Well, she's been retired for like many
Since 2007,
years.
like 10 years. So like, maybe there's other, who knows what kind of stuff's going on.
But like that scene was the only scene in the movie.
Yeah, they're like
I
hiding from the
think.
carolers, and like Ralphie's wife is like clueless because she's from like, I don't know, a
And
city or something.
What's weird is that like, I don't know, Ralphie never said like, we hate carolers. Like it didn't come up.
I mean, like, I haven't brought it up in any of our dates and
Do
conversations.
people carol?
I used to carol, so like
Well, you caroled, but like, did anybody ever come to your house?
No.
People never came to our house.
Well, they knew you were Jewish.
That's not what they knew.
They have the list, Toby. They're coming out with it.
We also put them in our
Kanye West
house.
is making the list. He's coming out with it, so they're gonna know. Yeah,
Scary.
we're topical on this podcast.
No.
Anyway, so like the best part of that movie, besides the narrator, are the parents.
Yeah.
And you don't have the parents. Obviously, the dad's dead. The mom, whatever,
Is retired, so she's not.
So like you've basically taken out 40 or 50% of what makes that original movie so great.
I also think what makes it great.
Or more.
I also think it was like the old feeling, like even like this movie obviously took place in the 70s.
So the original was
like
like the 30s-ish or the 40s-ish?
Like the 70s.
This is in the 70s,
So like you don't have that new technology that you have to incorporate, which is like nice.
Millie's eating the wire.
I know.
Millie, please stop biting the headphone wires. I've never seen her eat wires before. Now of all time, she tries to eat the headphone
I
wires.
know, she's being adorable.
If I picked her up though, she wouldn't be able to do
Oh my
it.
God.
Come on, give me the cat.
So like that charm, I think it was still kind of there.
It's like the original is like a Norman Rockwell painting, but like what was really going on. You ever seen like a Norman Rockwell? No. It's like all that classic like Campbell's Soup kind of like American Dream kind of stuff.
Okay.
My grandma used to collect the Norman Rockwell like figures.
I was wondering why you knew.
I mean, everyone knows Norman Rockwell. Guys, comment below. Should we do a review on Norman Rockwell paintings?
Oh God, no.
But it's just like a very Americana, very like old school kind of classic 30s, 40s. And this one's like not that. It's just like the 70s, which like aside from internets, the 70s is just basically what we have now.
Right. Like I thought it was so silly. I mean, I guess not. I don't know.
It's just not as interesting of a thing to watch as the 30s was.
And it also wasn't just Christmas parts. Like I feel like in the first movie, they only did Christmassy things. And in this one, he's also like dropping tidbits like you never leave your plate empty at mom's. Like you never waste food at mom's. So they got to eat all the casseroles.
Yeah. And I think like a lot of those jokes where he's like, oh, like this is all things that parents do that like, or whatever. Like there are those like jokes that he does where he's.
Is it because it's like parent jokes from the 70s and our parents weren't.
What I'm saying was, so that was a big part of the original movie where he would talk about all these like little mundane things that kids find extremely serious. And that's what's funny is that he's explaining like what as an adult you might think is a very mundane, like a kid, the triple dog dare, right? Like he's trying to explain in the original, he's explaining like how that's important as a kid.
Right.
And like that's the joke, right? In this one, he does the exact same thing, but he's explaining adult things as an adult. So it doesn't work as well when he's like, all parents know that like sometimes you got to trick your kid and blah, 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 blah. Like that might be true, but it's not as interesting of a concept of explaining these mundane childhood things that are like really important to children.
That was what was boring about
so like
it.
you're really, I mean, like all of this goes to show that like you're really starting out with an uphill battle of trying to make this a good movie. Because a lot of what made the original movie good, you can't do in this one.
Which is also, as a kid, things are so like we've all been kids. We're all watching the movie. We've been kids.
That's what makes the original great,
right? So this one is maybe it's more relatable for people that are parents or people that grew up in the 70s. But for us, we're not parents yet, so like none of the parenting things were like hilarious.
Right. I mean, I guess it's funny that Ralphie still talks like that and like still says those kinds of things in his head, but like it's just not as interesting when he does that as a kid.
And he still did vignettes. Wait, can we talk about the one vignette that was really hard to watch?
Oh no. Okay, yeah. So he still has the vignettes like the original one. like one of them is like his like one of the publishers who like told him he was bad.
Right, that was fine.
He like wins an award. There's one at the end. Okay, so
I don't even know if it's at the end. Was I weak?
It is at the end. Yes.
Okay.
So it's at one point in the movie, he's sneaking into his friend's bar, and it's the kid that got his who got his tongue stuck on the thing. So he owns a bar, and at some point in the movie, he had lied to his daughter about like you have to have a star on your Christmas tree, otherwise Santa doesn't come.
Right.
And of course, he drops and breaks the star.
And then she remembers it, and that was also a thing that he talked about.
Right. So he has to break into Flick's bar because he remembers that Flick has a star.
Because everything's closed. It's Christmas Eve.
And I guess he like instead of just going to his house and being like, "Hey, Flick, can you open the bar?" He breaks and enters, and then he gets caught by the police, who of course is Scott Farkas.
Of course.
So he assumes that Scott Farkas is immediately going to arrest him for the weekend.
Scott Farkas seems to be doing the best out of all of them. I guess all the ones that
Ralphie's
ended up
a failed writer.
Yeah.
Flick owns a bar. No, Flick's doing good. He owns a bar that he inherited from his grandpa.
I guess so.
Schwartz is a drunk, and they don't tell you what he does.
Mom.
He has I think he wears like a mechanic's badge.
All right.
So yeah, Scott Farkas, surprisingly enough, he's the only one with like a successful job, and like he's grown as a person. He's the only. Yeah, he's like different.
So you should all be bullies.
Yeah, I guess.
That was the message.
I guess that's one little fun little tidbit. Like
Yeah.
Scott Farkas is the only one who's like matured as an adult.
I actually don't know how that ended. Let's keep talking about the vignette.
Yeah, so anyway, he goes into his little coping mechanism vignettes where he thinks he's going to get arrested and thrown in prison for the rest of his life. So they show him like in prison with like a long scraggly beard. He's old and his kids are all grown up. And like his son turns into like a British, I guess it was a thing at the time in the 70s. Like a British punk rocker.
Right.
With like a strong British accent. Like that's kind of funny.
So like maybe in his 20s.
And then his daughter turns around and she's like super pregnant. We're like, what the hell is this vignette?
And then her eyes all messed up.
Yeah. Like, she has like a black eye or something?
No, it's like her eyes like crooked. You didn't notice?
No, I didn't notice that. I was writing down notes. I wasn't paying attention.
Oh my God. And I was like, wow, way to villainize teen pregnancy.
Go ahead. Good job, Peter Billingsley.
Right? Like we failed as a parent, so my daughter's pregnant.
Yikes.
I
wasn't coming at it from that angle.
That's where I was.
I was just like, that's the best. Like, that's what you came up with in a kid's movie?
I mean, like I don't even know why he did that. Like,
can you imagine a kid being like, "Mommy, why is being pregnant bad? I thought you had to be pregnant for me."
Like,
it's like, well, when you're a teenager.
Like, does that mean the mom, like the kid went off the rails, so now she's having unprotected sex?
Did they do sex ed in the 70s? Probably not,
Probably
right?
not.
Freaking in the middle of the country.
And also, like, your son now dresses differently and has a British accent. You failed.
Oh,
like,
that part's funny. It's so stupid that his son has a British accent all of a sudden.
I was just like...
The pregnant thing is, I just think it's weird. I don't think it's like he was going after teen pregnancy.
I mean, I think it's weird that you think that you failed as a human.
I think that's the first thing you think of. Oh, I'm a failed father. My daughter's pregnant is like kind of weird.
Right.
Yeah. So anyway, you want to go through some of the notes I wrote down? But yeah, okay. So I guess all of this to say that like there's no way this movie could have been good because 70% of what made the original good is impossible. It's gone. You can't do it. You have to do Ralphie as an adult. I guess what they could have done, and this would have been hard, is make Ralphie a side character. Make Ralphie, he's not the main character. He's not the main character. His son. So like find a kid who's really charming, get another narrator to do it who's not Peter Billingsley, and have Peter Billingsley play the role of his dad.
I think that would have been fine.
And maybe, and I was thinking this while we were watching it, like what could have been a good idea is if like Peter Billingsley grows up and instead of taking after all of the good parts of his father, like loving Christmas and like actually being nice with his family, he's just like grumpy all the time. And like Peter Billingsley has to grow and like realize like, no, his dad wasn't as like, because like I remember the dad being bad.
Interesting.
So like maybe like and like now as an adult, I'm realizing the dad was not a bad dad. So maybe that could have been a good character. Let me write this damn movie.
That would have been good growth.
Let me write this damn movie.
Right?
Yeah, put Peter Billingsley as a side character, and he's and then maybe the mom has to sit him down and say, no, your dad was awesome. Like your dad like loved Christmas and he like he like let Randy eat from the thing.
And then we like see the parts of the movie that were like
his
happy.
dad being good, right? Like he's helping his kid with the changing the tire and whatever, and he's all that stuff.
Yeah.
He buys the kid the look, and I only noticed this time watching it. The look on the dad's face when he gives the kid the gun and how happy he is, you're like dying. Like, come on.
Every time, and like when they're at the parade. And Ralphie is like being a brat and being like,
Shut up, Ralphie.
But like,
that's probably the meanest thing he does.
No,
In the movie.
but what I've been saying is that he looks so happy with Randy, just like on his shoulders,
he's
like
happy,
enjoying it.
I cannot wait till our son is born and he's annoying and I can just be like, shut up.
No.
I guess we can't. We have to name him Randy now.
Randy.
Maybe that's one of it.
No.
Shut up, Ralphie. I have to name him Ralphie.
Yeah,
Shut up, Ralphie. Yeah, oh my God.
No.
So that I think would have been a cool little story because like I remember the dad being crappy. So maybe other people remember it that way. So that would have been interesting for maybe Ralphie remembers him wrong and then the mom, blah, 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 whatever.
I think that would have been
That's probably the only thing you could have done to make this movie good. And that is not what they did at all. So like, I feel bad criticizing the movie because they couldn't have made it good. How would you have made this good?
I don't know. They just did like weird things, right? Like they did the adult sledding. That was
I would
weird.
say, like they didn't really do nostalgia very well. Can I list the callbacks here?
Please.
There's a lot of callbacks to the original, and they're just like not good. They're like not well, and it's like very obvious. Okay, ready?
Yeah.
Okay, callback one. In the publisher's desk, he has all the bribes that he gets from the writers, just like the teacher does.
Wait, let me see if I can do the movie.
Okay, go ahead.
No. You're going to say what they did in the new one. I'm going to say when it happened in the old one.
Okay, vignettes/dream sequences.
Okay, we already covered that.
Okay. He curses like the dad.
Right, and the dad curses with the tire in the furnace.
Yeah. And
Which
this
you
one,
noticed? I didn't notice because it's like toned down.
He mumbles it. Well, he also does that as a kid. He curses like his dad a lot as a kid.
No, but in the new movie, he's did
like
it like one time.
Yeah, they set up. At some point the trunk gets left open and their present gets stolen. So they set up in the beginning of the movie that he has a problem closing the trunk every time.
Oh, maybe I was sleeping.
And every time he tries to close the trunk, it pops back open and he starts cursing.
I missed that part.
And it's that same like like that like fake cursing. So he curses like the dad. Okay, it's the exact same house, obviously, that the grandma's in. The Easter costume. They show the Easter costume.
Okay, from the first book. Yeah.
Explain it better. Do it good.
Oh, the one that Aunt Clara gets, and it's like the bunny slippers. It's all pink.
Aunt Sammy and Aunt Joe, we expect you guys to sew a bunny outfit for our kid. They show the curtain for the leg lamp.
First of all, it's not called a curtain.
What do you mean? The lampshade?
The lampshade.
Sorry.
They show the lampshade for the leg lamp. They don't show the leg lamp.
No, because it's broken.
That didn't make it.
But the dad saved the curtain.
No.
the shade. The dad saved the shade. They played music, original music from the original soundtrack a lot. So like, they played the leg lamp theme while he found the lampshade, like the little like sexy
I didn't know
saxophone.
that.
Yep. They like they did that weird speeding up footage. Do you remember that?
Yeah, like
yeah. So in the original,
they did it a lot, which I didn't notice.
Do you remember when they did it?
Yeah, they did it every time they would be running back and forth from school.
From Scott Farkas.
And from essentially Scott Farkas. Well, one time he was just running because he needed to check his mail.
Oh, yes.
But like, I didn't realize how much buildup they did before he beats up Scott Farkas. Like, he was like bullied.
The whole movie.
They were bullied the whole movie. But I don't think the payoff was a lot bigger for me in this time because I was like, oh, wow, it happens like a lot. And the first one, it just felt like, oh, boom.
Yeah.
It just felt like another transition, like, oh, now we're going to do it. But he like really stood up for himself.
This one, they just randomly do it because they like dared someone to go off a sled. Like a snow ramp.
Yeah.
And then the guy's like, all right, leave the bar so we can watch. And they just played the song and they sped up the footage. They're like, I guess we got to throw this in somewhere. Okay. Triple dog dare.
Right. So in the old one, that was for the tongue to the flagpole, and his tongue did get stuck to the flagpole. In this
one, it's opposite. So it's Flick.
Flick dares Schwartz.
Schwartz to go off this crazy ramp, and if he does it, he'll clear his bar tab.
That's a conversation you have to have with your child. I guess the fact
that Flick and Schwartz still hate each other, or like now they really hate each other,
are like buddies, but they don't like angry buddies. Yeah,
that's a throwback. Weird kid in the line for Santa.
Where was he? Oh,
remember the original?
No, that is the original. It happened again. In the new one?
You were asleep for that. Yes. So in the original.
Stop saying the original part.
You said you were in charge of the original.
I am, but you
So
said
go.
the weird kid waiting for Santa.
That happened in this one.
Oh, and in the old one, he had like big like glasses that you wear and like a
he had like he had like airplane glasses and an airplane hat.
Yeah, and he was just like,
I like Christmas.
Yeah, I mean, he reminded me of the I Like Turtles kid.
Yeah, yes, exactly. Like 20 years earlier, 40 years earlier. And Ralphie's just like, oh, that's nice.
No, Ralphie
very
should have been meaner, I think.
I was gonna say, watching it back, Ralphie was kind of mean as a kid.
He was mean.
Yeah.
But like, if I was Ralphie, I would have been like, why are you talking to me?
And then
what happened
in this
in the new one?
His kids are online waiting for Santa.
Was he as mean? I definitely slept through this part.
No, his kids are nice. Ralphie's kids in this movie are very nice.
Was Santa?
No, Santa was nice.
And all the elves were nice?
The elves were mean. Santa was nice. So there's a kid in front of them who's eating a lollipop. Who's like, do you want a lollipop? So he's also a weird kid. He gets up to the front and he pukes all over the place. Because I guess you can't have a movie in the 2000s without puke.
Honestly, I will say, I know we're doing, callbacks, but I will say something like else that was dumb about this movie is they used like mean words as humor. Like they said moron, they said stupid.
You couldn't say those words back in the 30s, so they couldn't use that back.
I guess not. But like all of that nonsense, I like really despise. I think it's so just wasteful script. I don't know.
I will say this movie, I think at one point after Schwartz had flown off the ramp and they were lifting him back up and he like burped for no reason, I think I literally turned to Toby and I was like, are there comedies anymore? Like, do they make comedy movies anymore?
Like, that's
I felt
funny.
bad for comedies in general. Like, when was the last comedy we saw in theaters? Besides, I guess Violent Night is a comedy. I
mean, I would say like Thor 4.
But that's a superhero movie. So like,
not
a real
straight comedy?
Yeah. Violent Night, I guess, is technically like a dark comedy Christmas movie.
Apparently the new movie Menu is supposed to be like a dark comedy.
Is that the only comedies we can know how to make anymore? Is dark comedies? We can't make regular comedies, family comedies?
No, because they're bad.
Like, I know what happens in A Christmas Story. And I was dying laughing when we watched it today, the original one. Yeah. So, like, that's a good comedy.
I would say, like,
This is just, like, the same kind of corny, like, wine mom kind of, like, lame jokes that, like, every other stupid kid movie has.
Yeah, but,
for the
like,
last 20
not
years.
even good.
Like, burp funny. Ha, ha, ha.
Right. Or, like, we're going to have grown-ups sledding down and hitting things.
Ha, ha. Oh, yeah. And then randomly, yes.
And
like,
then his
after
kid
the
breaks
drunks.
his arm. Like, what?
Okay. More callbacks. I guess, yes, the fact that Scott Farkas shows up.
Yeah.
We already talked about Scott Farkas.
Does he just bring him back home?
Yeah, he brings him back home and he's like, he basically says like, you know, when I was a kid, I was like really mean to you. Oh. And like, you like beating the crap out of me, you kind of like set me on the right path.
Oh,
also, you find out that it's his kids in the...
Of course it's his kids. Was that not
Well,
they
weren't ginger.
Yeah, but that was assumed.
So like, also apparently that guy that plays Scott Farkas was like, you know, kind of like, had like a crappy life because people remember him as Scott Farkas.
Oh, like Joffrey.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, my God. He had to quit acting.
I know.
Yeah. Jack Gleason.
Sorry, dude.
God, what's up with Jackie Gleason's playing... right? The original Jackie... Didn't Jackie Gleason play the guy from The Honeymooners who like punched his wife all the time?
Literally no idea.
With Jackie Gleason.
I didn't watch The Honeymooners. Okay.
See, like, listen. The dad from Christmas Story could have been like Jackie Gleason from The Honeymooners, threatening his wife with violence.
Right. Didn't.
And didn't.
Didn't.
He was a nice guy.
Loved his wife.
Loved his wife. Loved his leg. Loved his wife.
Yeah.
How awesome is that freaking scene when the wife and the dad are arguing and he's like, get the glue. Oh. She's like, there is no glue. You did that on
you used all the glue on purpose.
Oh my God. Like, I guess all the comedy writers are dead? Like, did they all die? Are they too old to write comedies anymore?
I don't know, because I was still thinking about the last comedy we saw, and I think it was the summer movie, Fire Island. I think that was the last comedy we watched. I know, and that's like...
And we reviewed that movie well, but please...
Right, like it wasn't a bad movie. Some parts were funny, but like there's nothing like...
That's not a kid's movie.
Right, and there's nothing like quippy. Like Dodgeball and like that era of like Dodgeball, of like Steve Carell comedies.
Yes, and I would say those are definitely not kids' movies, but like good comedies.
Those were like good comedies. Yeah. And I think, and like something that Gino and I always come back to is that because they're like real life, and real life is just naturally funny.
Yep, Dodgeball, just like real life.
There were huge
Is Tropic Thunder
leagues.
the last like good comedy?
Why would you say Tropic Thunder?
Because what other movies have come out since then? Anchorman 2.
There's no way Tropic Thunder is the
What
last
other comedies
good
have come out? I
comedy.
can't think of any.
No. We'll look it up. You guys tell us, what comedies are we like
Yeah, like,
missing
am I
out
missing
on?
something? Yeah. Because this is what, 83? So you're talking about like that late 70s, early 80s kind of era of movies? Like, is that it? That's when comedies were, you could have family-friendly comedies that were actually funny? Was it? They used all the jokes then?
I don't even know. Yeah, like what family, like what?
Because like,
tell us what
I'm
we're
so
supposed to
sick of
watch.
like, like, A Christmas Story is not a kid's movie. It is an adult movie that is appropriate for kids, which is how, despite what your grandma says, this is how my family thought of The Simpsons. So like I was allowed, of all the adult shows, which I was not allowed to watch any of them, for some reason my mom let me watch The Simpsons because she got it. The Simpsons is for adults with adult humor that's like appropriate enough for kids and like funny enough for kids. So like I was allowed to watch that. But now it's like either you have like stupid, like, you know, burp funny, fart funny kind of like Minions nonsense, which like this movie has a little bit of, or you have like, you know, dark comedies like Violent Night. Like, is there nothing?
No, there's like in between, like Abbott Elementary. I'm sorry, I'm holding, my back hurts. Abbott Elementary.
Are you pregnant, Toby?
I might be. Abbott Elementary is like a nice in between. Because there are, I mean, I only watched most of the first
Is
season.
TV the place where all these went?
I think TV. I think it's been. I mean, like, I don't know because this again. I don't see comedies anymore. Comedy used to be the only genre of movie I would go see in theaters. Like, forget drama,
It's
forget
good to see
horror.
in theaters, especially with a full crowd.
With a full crowd, it's wonderful. The stories I hear about Mel Brooks movies in theaters, just people just like
dying.
guffawing. Exactly.
No, actually, you know, you're gonna hate me for this. One of the best theater experiences I ever had was seeing Jackass 3D with a full theater. It was so much funnier,
right?
With the entire theater going nuts.
But that's what makes movies better,
right?
So
It kind of
much
sucked watching
better.
Violent Night, where no one was
We're
there.
the only ones laughing.
Yeah.
You're welcome, Violent Night.
Yeah, well, Violent Night grossed $30 from us in the U.S.
Actually, I think it doubled its budget, but it has it had like a lower budget.
Yeah, I'm saying John Leguizamo and David Harbour are most of that budget.
But listen,
But it's good, perfect. Listen,
great movie. Well,
I guess like even I'm getting sick of like the Disney Marvel superhero stuff, and I love those movies. But like it's nice to watch something else.
Well, it's nice to also feel like I have a range. Like I'm not like pigeonholed to just these couple types of movies that I like. And for a time, like, yes, I only watched like horror movies. That was because those were the most interesting to me. But like, I want to watch comedies again. Like
we're specifically, okay, freaking the biggest movie of all time had a sequel that came out yesterday. And we're talking about A Christmas Story because we don't want to see that damn movie. Like, I don't. I don't. You don't. Maybe I'll force myself to watch it.
I don't even think I wanted
for
to see
them
the
views.
first one.
No, who watches the first one?
I don't know.
I would be shocked if this movie makes.
Honestly, I was surprised that they made a whole place like Avatar World
in Disney. Yeah, that was before Disney bought Fox.
Right. Well, that was such a surprise to me because I was like, who
cares?
Avatar?
Yeah, and then all the
Who cares
Disney
that
adults
much?
are like, you got to go to Disney to look at Avatar. I'm not going to Disney for Avatar World.
Why? What? I don't even remember the plot of Avatar.
Yeah, I don't know. I think maybe watching like a low budget movie like Violent Night and like a lower, probably low budget. I don't know how much the actors cost. Movie like A Christmas Story, especially A Christmas Story, that's like so good, like so genuinely good that it's like making me upset about like all the other movies. Like I feel like we have to we're going to have to curate movies for our kids, not based on like content, like obviously inappropriate content, but like these are the movies you're allowed to watch first.
Yes.
Or like I got mad yesterday watching the Beauty and the Beast 30th anniversary special.
Yes, you did.
Because I'm like, why would I watch this nonsense of them in the freaking back lot with like fake backgrounds when the original Disney Beauty and the Beast is just so good?
Because we also like live singing and dancing.
Yeah,
you like
live.
Broadway.
Yeah, live. When I see it live,
All right, well, we didn't watch it live.
Yeah.
We did. We had to watch it after.
I'm worried. Like I'm worried that our kid is not going to have like good movies to go see.
Of course they will.
Flubber.
Like Flubber.
That's what I saw when I was a kid.
Honestly. But like, I think our kid will because there are going to be these new writers that come in that like have this. Like Judd Apatow's like at the end. Right? When's the last Judd Apatow movie that came out?
I think he made a TV show. Did he make Freaks, Geeks, and Automobiles again?
Yeah. Oh, again? Like redid it? No.
Yeah, no. Okay.
But like back in the day, yeah. Like all of those characters or like actors that had their heyday when we were growing up, I'm sure there will be people that have their heyday. But like right now, who's the comedy actor in their heyday? Like we had Vince Vaughn, Will Ferrell.
It could have been Chris
Carell.
Pratt, but he got marveled, and like no one likes him. He's freaking Mario. What the hell?
I was gonna say only fat Chris Pratt is funny.
Well, I would say Guardians Chris Pratt is funny.
Guardians Chris Pratt too, but like
yeah, that's James Gunn.
But right, like who is the big comedic actor right now?
It definitely not Will Ferrell and Ryan Reynolds because Spirited sucked.
No,
Ryan Reynolds is Deadpool, maybe.
Right, maybe, but
Probably
that's
the
again like a comic book. They're
Oh,
not.
yeah, God damn it.
They're not making movies after
Yeah.
movies of like good comedies. Not even like women. Like Amy Schumer even had like a time where
Oh,
like
you know what's the last really good comedy I can think of?
tell me
Bridesmaids.
good comedy.
Bridesmaids was awesome.
Yeah, Bridesmaids was great.
Man, I'm like starting to get like, and we're part of the problem. Here we are reviewing freaking Marvel movies and stuff every week when we should be reviewing movies like Christmas Story.
Should that be a resolution?
2020, we just do like movies that are good that aren't Marvel movies because like I don't want to talk about freaking She-Hulk
I was gonna
again.
say I don't either. Should we do that, you guys? We like went off on this really long tangent. We're supposed to be talking about Christmas Story, but should we pay attention more to like good
Should we
movies?
just watch old movies that are good and review them?
What do you want from us? What niche should we be filling?
What things should I do to get rid of this existential crisis I'm having right now?
I know. I think I'm gonna do.
I guess it's nice the fact that we have like a job. Like we both are teachers, so like I never have to have like an existential crisis about like, oh, am I doing enough for the world?
right. Like
'Cause,
we're
like
doing
teaching, like I'm doing right. Like it's a good job. I'm helping people.
Also, like just to be clear, we're science teachers. We are doing God's work.
Right.
We are science teachers believing in
Yes.
God. We're doing God's work.
What the hell, Toby? You can't bring that up. So like now we're gonna get either we're gonna get for or not gonna get for. I don't know which one. So like I don't have that kind of existential crisis with my job that like maybe I don't know someone working for Hollywood would have. But like now as a freaking movie review podcast, it's like, do I want to talk about freaking She-Hulk when A Christmas Story exists and it's like a genuinely great movie?
Did you just change and do the things that I want you to do, which is talk about older movies?
Yeah, I mean, we don't get views anyway, so we might as well do whatever we want.
We might as well do whatever we want, right?
Screw
Freedom.
Marvel and Disney.
Yeah, you guys have enough money. Let's.
If
talk about
anybody
things
out
that we
there
want.
has a Disney Instagram, for example, you do follow us. Switch it to like good stuff Instagram, Christmas Story Instagram.
Are you only talking to the one person you
I'm talking to
know?
the one person. They know who they are if they're listening to this episode.
They're not going to listen. Their husband listens.
we're done. We're done.
Number one fan. Tell
I mean,
your
unless
wife.
I really see. I mean, we're still gonna watch Marvel movies, obviously.
Obviously, and I think
But,
we'll
like-
still review them. But like, I think we can like scatter in.
Like, could you compare this freaking movie? I mean, like, Wakanda Forever was great, and like, you know, Spider-Man No Way Home was great, and whatever. But like, A Christmas Story is just such a genuine little nugget of good.
I know. And it like we want to watch movies that make us feel good. Like I did not feel good when
I felt so good sitting here with just the two of us watching A Christmas. We don't have a kid yet.
No.
Watching the original Christmas Story, and then yesterday watching the new one that we're reviewing right now. Apparently,
I don't think so.
we could barely pay attention. I couldn't do it.
No, I truly passed out. And what was so funny about it is I was snoring really loud. So instead of like waking me up and saying like, "Hey, I can't pay attention," Gino just took a video of it.
I filmed her. She was snoring super loud. It was hilarious. Maybe I'll add it to this part if I remember. Here it is.
Toby, did you blow your nose?
Again?
Like real loud, I didn't hear it.
No.
Did I remember? I don't know.
I hope not. Yeah, I don't know. Like, and we don't even want to watch the new Santa Claus movie.
Or like
'cause
the new Avatar. Like I don't care about Avatar.
So what
Like
movie?
we're dumb for not watching Avatar.
We're gonna see it.
Let's just review A Christmas Story again next week. Let's do it again.
No.
All right, we got to figure something out.
Yeah.
I'm definitely not gonna watch the new Santa Claus. Nah.
No. Sorry, Tim Allen.
We can watch the original one if you like that, but even that's not as good as A Christmas Story.
No. But I mean, like, whatever. But like, we'll see the new Avatar. We have break coming up.
Maybe we'll review it.
We should. But honestly, I should
like
watch
water.
the
I
first
do like
one.
water.
Yeah.
I'm definitely not rewatching the first one. No way.
I will.
I watched that once in theaters, maybe twice, and no.
I'll suffer through it.
I remember watching it being like, I don't get why everyone loves this movie. It's really boring.
I definitely felt
And
the
like
same
for
way.
me, like I would rather see CG visuals in like a video. I'm more impressed when like my PlayStation 5 runs CG visuals because it's running in real time. So like that's more impressive to me. Like, wow, you got this crazy 3D world updating one every 60 times a second or 70 times a second, 80 now with the new God of War and stuff. That to me is more impressive than, oh, you had 5 years to render out this forest on a computer and you had unlimited time and budget. Okay.
Millie agrees with you.
It took you a day to render one frame. Well, no, I don't care. I'm not impressed. Yeah. Yeah, Millie.
This is why she
Ow.
doesn't. No, put
Millie,
her
let me
down.
pick you up and show.
Put
you
her
see it?
down.
Okay, I heard.
She's gonna break the chair.
Anyway, that's all for Toby and Gino's Existential Crisis podcast.
I think so too.
I'm going to go play God of War, which is more impressive than Avatar.
I'm gonna go put a poll up. I don't know, maybe on Thursday to be like, what movies, what comedies
What
should we
do?
watch?
What
Right.
should we do, Millie? Should we review cats? Every episode we review this cat.
Yeah.
10 out of 10.
There's another movie we didn't see, Cats.
Cats.
Well, that's it. Thank you for listening to For Better or Worse. If you like what you heard and you want to know more, visit our website, forbetteraworse.buzzsprout.com, and subscribe to our podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Big Deal, or whatever you listen to so you never miss an episode. Like and subscribe to our YouTube channel. 100 followers before 2023. Can we do it? Comment and leave a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts. Comment on YouTube. Talk to us. Really helps the show. Engage.
Send us a good therapist that we can discuss our problems with this podcast.
That's what a therapist cares about. See you next time when we review more movies
Why are you
and
here?
TV.
I don't want to review Marvel movies anymore.
Then don't.
Then don't. Oh, okay. Bye, everybody.
Bye.